technology works. So welcome to tonight's memory journal class. I am super excited. We are going to be talking about a couple of things tonight. We're going to be talking about how to use our supplies maybe in some different ways, okay? And I've got a couple of examples for you, and we'll work through a couple of examples as well. And I am going to be using Close to My Heart Storybook Kit tonight, okay? This kit is really unique for Close to My Heart because a lot of things are really geared towards little girls or little boys. And I love it because so many things are geared towards little girls. And of course, I have a little girl. But this kit is really unique in that it is geared to both, okay? So this particular side here, you can see we have a lot of like fairy tale type pieces and castles and rainbows and unicorns. But if we turn the page over here, we now have dragons and swords and treasure chest. And so things that are geared more towards the little boys, which is kind of cool. We have a really cute wisteria colored, mulberry colored heart. But on the back side of it, we have this really cute blue arrowed paper, okay? And then we have our standard kind of multicolor. So again, we're bringing in the pinks, the blues, the purples, the reds. And so this is the front and back of this paper. So it's really kind of cool that one kit could be used for either little girls or little boys, which is kind of neat. And of course, the over there, you're getting a glare. The stickers are geared both ways as well. So you've got the dragons and unicorns and the castles, but then you've got a lot of kind of more gender neutral things. You've got kind of his and her crowns, all sorts of little things like that. So it's kind of a little kit. So it's always interesting. So I always try to stick with what Close to My Heart's monthly kit is. But sometimes it's interesting because it may not fit the exact project that I was doing. And like my memory journal, as most of you know, my memory journal is a daily project. Okay, so it's how I document our days. You know, I have pictures or I have, you know, just little things that just kind of document our days. Like here's a few pieces from January here. Okay, and so it doesn't always fit that I have all of this kid stuff to do. And I was like, well, you know, we're using a lot of my photos. I can make this work. But then I thought, how do we and do we go about using our products in different ways? Okay. And we talked about this a little bit last time. So we talked about different types of ink application and those types of things. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to take a product, a piece of this particular set, and I wanted to do something totally different with it, okay? So what I decided to do was I converted the digital art set, which let me show you what that looks like. Move that out of the way. So this is the Storybook digital art set here. There we go, make that a little more legible. And so it has all of these really cute dragons and unicorns and frames and teapots, just a lot of really fairy tale type images. And I thought, you know, that would be super cute to take these and not necessarily create paper images, but to create stickers with them. And so that's what I did. As I took all of these digital art images, and again, they all come down as SVGs. I uploaded all of those into Cricut, and I basically came out with these really cute sticker sheets, okay? Now these I printed on white sticker paper, as you can see, okay? So they're going to be very nice and deep colored. Here you can see there's the rose, but instead of having all of these layers of paper, in using everything and putting all of this together. I wanted something really super simple and quick that I could do. And so that's how I decided to go through and create these into digital art instead of leaving them as an SVG and cutting out multiple layers of paper. Okay. I'm going to do a tutorial. I'm not going to do it tonight, just because I'm on my Mac and Cricut doesn't behave the same way on my Mac as it does on my PC. And so I'm going to do a PC-based tutorial on how I did this. Okay. But I just encourage each and every one of you to kind of think outside of the box a little bit in terms of how can we take a product, and whether it's these particular digital images or any other digital image you might find, how do we take those products and create something new or something different or a different way to use these products, okay? And I think you guys have seen me, I have a ton of pocket cards. And my goal every year is to use up 1,000 of them out of my stash. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that I don't bring more in, but I try to use up everything that comes in. I try to make sure that whatever I have a use for it, whatever product is coming in. And then I try to use some old things as well. Well, there's only so many things that you can put a 3x4 or a 4x6 card on. So what I decided to do was I took my little cover here, actually has 2 different pocket cards on it. Can you find them? Does anybody see them?
In fact, I did something different, which I like. Rather than adjusting the exposures, I adjusted the.
Does anybody see the 2 pocket cards that I used?
So my are all 5 second.
Yes, you
Yes.
brighten my day and best day ever.
Okay, you have one of them.
Yeah.
So you brighten my day. Yes, that was a 3x4 card. Yep, perfect. Okay, these are just what I cut out of cardstock and stamped on.
Really?
Okay, any other ideas?
Did you take the balloons and cut them out of a card?
You're getting close. You're getting really close. I'll give you a hint. You see it now? My whole frame here was a 4x6 card. And I decided to basically take that, use a die cut. And then I ended up with these couple of pieces left, which that will be a great thing to put on another layout. This will probably be scraps. I'll probably punch some more balloons or something like that out of it. But yeah, so using 2 pocket cards, again, a little outside of the norm, but using them and then kind of disguising the fact that they're pocket cards. Basically, I'm using them as just another source of paper. Okay, so again, what I want you to think about is how can you use things a little differently than how you might otherwise use it. Okay. Okay, so yes, so Valerie, you were super close. And you're right, I did cut things out. Now the balloons themselves, I also did something a little different with them. I punched them out, okay? And then I used a couple of different things to create their textures, okay? The first thing I used on the little mulberry balloons here was I took this really cute scaly border stamp here. And I just stamped it again and again and again to get this really cool texture. Okay, so these are just this little stamp right here.
Whoa.
Okay.
How did you get them all lined up?
It was pretty easy. If you use a clear block, you can see and you can line them up as you're just going down the page. And they're not perfect. You can see here, I've got a little bit of a gap here in this purple balloon. Hey, it doesn't need to be perfect. Okay. So here you can see these were just pieces of cardstock that I cut out. So there's the best. And then there's the outline on this best. And then there's day ever right there for that one. Okay. Now these over here, these were actually background stamps. This one had some little music notes in it. And again, I used a tone on tone technique. We talked about this a little bit last time, so we're kind of building on last time's class. Tone on tone basically is used to add texture, okay? Doesn't add a lot of color. It just creates some more interest on your page, okay? My background page here is pretty darn busy. Excuse me. There's a lot going on. When I first put these little balloons on there, they were just plain. I just cut them out of cardstock, super easy. Oh, excuse me, goodness. And I put them on this layout, and I was absolutely not happy with it. Excuse me, I'm still getting over the sinus infection, my goodness. Okay. So I needed to do something to them, but oh goodness, I couldn't really add a whole lot more color or design to this page because it would have really been overwhelming. Okay, so what I decided to do was to use this tone on tone technique. And basically I came in with my mulberry ink, okay, my mulberry paper, all my little papers right here. There we go. So I came in with those, inked up my stamp, and basically created just a little bit of texture on these balloons, but not a lot of bright design. I didn't add any more colors because goodness knows I had enough colors on this page as it was. You notice I stamped my February down here in black. And again, I did this on purpose. Number one, I didn't want to add any more color. I had some black text right here, so I wanted to kind of combine that and kind of bring that in. And also because I was stamping directly on this really colorful background, if I would have stamped this in any other color, it would have been lost. So if I had used a mulberry or the honey butter or any other color that's on here, and then I would have lost this February and it wouldn't jump out and say hello. Okay. So again, using products a little differently, hello Cindy, than what you might think you want to use them for. And that's really what we're going to focus on tonight and play with a little bit. Notice this little arrow here? That is one of the stickers that I made out of the digital art. Okay. Again, using the products that we have, but stretching them, making them go further, and using them in different ways. Okay. You can see I used a ton of different dyes on this page, ton of different shapes. And basically this was all just to kind of give it a lot of interest, but you can see I kept these same colors consistently in each of my groupings. Does anybody remember what this is called? Kind of giving you a hint. The visual triangle.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And again, having those three elements similar, they're not similar in size. This is quite large. This is kind of medium, and this is pretty large. Okay. But again, I'm replicating the colors, yellow, yellow, or excuse me, honey butter, honey butter, honey butter, mulberry, mulberry, mulberry. And basically what that is doing is that is drawing your eye into what is in the center of your layout. And what's in the center of it? My little title, You Brighten My Day. Okay. So again, just kind of some different things, some different kind of design elements in here. You notice that I liked this really white card here, and I didn't trim a lot of the white off. And I specifically did that because I wanted to call attention to this title. Okay, I wanted it to stand out from this really colorful, playful background. Okay, makes sense. Questions? If not, we're gonna start playing with some things in some different ways. Okay. All right, let me move that out of the way. All right, so what I'm going to be using tonight is I am using the Storybook Kit. And as you guys have seen me do many, many times, I've already taken my 12 by 12 papers. They're all cut down to 6 by 8 and 4 by 6. Okay. I also have all of my pocket cards in here as well. So I've got those already, so I can just flip through them. And again, this is how I like to store mine. And I do this specifically because I like to flip through things. I know that's how I go when I try to find things. Okay. I've got some ideas here. I printed off of just what I thought were some really cute layouts using this, some cards. I've got the recipes kind of here on the back. So again, so it just kind of gives me a few ideas that I might want to use. Okay. So you've already seen, I've already used one pocket card here. And obviously that's where the other pocket card came from. So of these pocket cards that are in this kit, and there are, how many do we have in this kit? 24 double-sided ones. I'm already down to 22, which is great. Okay. Okay. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to come in and make a few embellishments to get ready to put into my journal. Does anybody here do any art journaling or heard of the, good job, heard of the term art journal fodder? F-O-D-D-E-R. Has anybody heard of that?
No.
No? Okay. So Bree and I are both doing a little bit of art journaling, and I'll share a little bit of that at the end because it's another really unique way that you can do a memory journal, and it's a ton of fun. And basically what art journal fodder is it's pre-made items to go inside your journal. Okay. And I'm going to do this exact same thing tonight is I'm going to take a couple of these pocket cards that I know I want to use, and I'm going to disguise them so that they don't look like just 4 by 6 and 3 by 4 pocket cards. Okay, we're going to use them a little differently. And then we're going to put them on a page kind of at the end. Okay, so I'm going to start with, move some of this stuff out of the way. All right, so I'm going to start with this really cute Slay the Day. I'm just going to move this around a little bit so that you can see this a little better. There we go. All right. So this is what we're going to be working on here. I'm going to zoom out just a tiny bit so you can see my full mat. There we go. And so what I'm going to do is I went and grabbed, we have a bunch of these little kind of odd sized kind of journal cards. I went and grabbed one of these because I wanted to do something with these. I like having lines when I write because I can't write straight to save my life. So I went and grabbed a couple of these. They're just plain white. They measure about 2.5 by 3. So a little smaller than like an ATC card or something like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on this and start playing with this. Stickers. Okay. Now, Slay the Day is pretty cute, but it may not always be the absolute perfect sentiment for what you want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to soften that up just a little bit.
Play,
Okay,
play with.
I'm going to add some stickers, just kind of here and there. Add some little flowers.
Modify.
I also really like this little orange crown here,
Yeah.
but I really kind of like it up here on the journal card.
Settings that were just like-
Okay. So again, when I get ready to put this on, and I'm just grabbing a sheet of my pre-made white daisy cardstock here. When I get ready to put this on my card or my 6x8 layout, you can see it's already looking a little less like a blocky 4x6 card. It's already starting to kind of look like something really different because I'm overlapping these lines. And I've got some really cute things down here at the bottom. Okay. Now I decided I wanted to be fairly simple with it, but I really loved all of these cute little flowers to kind of soften up this sentiment a little bit. Okay, I've got this really cute yellow one here. Super cute. And again, you'll notice these, I'm going to just kind of vary their heights a little bit. Okay. Like that. 1 second. Okay, got a little bit left over here. I'll cut that off in a minute. No big deal. And then I've got, of course, the little rose. And that I actually want to put up a little bit further. Okay. So what I've done is I've taken this really kind of blah card and I'm starting to create something really fun out of it. I'm just going to take my little nonstick scissors, cut off those little stems, and that's already starting to take shape. Now, this is kind of a big white block here. You know me, I'm not big on big white blocks. So I'm going to come in to, what color do I want to use? I'm going to use some honey butter. This was our color of the month last month. And so I'm going to use some honey butter here. I'm going to find my nice little daubers. We talked about these last month. And I am going to give this little piece of white paper a little bit of character. Just giving it a little ink around the edges. Okay. All I'm doing. Again, I'm just trying to get rid of all of these really hard lines. And sometimes that's hard to do when you're using a lot of pocket cards. But I've gotten fairly good at it because I've been trying to use a lot of these things. Okay, there we go. So now you can see we've kind of given this little piece of paper some separation from its background card. And we're kind of giving it a little bit of kind of character to it, giving it just a little bit of kind of some color and not just this big block. Okay. All right. So I'm just looking at my stamps to see if there was anything I really wanted to add in terms of the stamps. And I don't think so. So this doesn't give me a whole lot of room to write, but it gives me enough to write just a quick synopsis of the day. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start to put this on. And I'm just going to use my ATG gun. There we go. And I'm also putting it at an angle, you'll notice. And the reason why I'm doing that is because, again, I'm trying to get away from these really, really hard lines that we have on here. Okay. Okay, so there's that little page is pretty much done, ready to go. Okay, probably add some type of little stamped image or something like that. I might even come in here if I look at my stickers and, you know, maybe I want to put a couple of these little stars kind of in and around my title over here, because this card will serve as my title.
when you run it, you get this great thing.
Okay.
with texture.
And again, these are fun things to keep in mind when you have, you know, kind of a cute card, but you're not really sure what to do with it. These are all really good ideas to really kind of dress it up. So that looks totally different from the card that we first started with. Okay, super easy to do. Again, I'm using my digital art in a very different way than what it was intended. Okay. Again, I'm just kind of looking through here. I don't really see anything else that I think will really go well on this card. Okay, so this I know is going to be down here at the bottom of my page. Okay, and so I know that's kind of what that's going to look like. So I'm just going to kind of set that to the side over here so that I kind of keep that in the back of my mind. This is how my page will look. Okay, now I'm going to come in and I want to just kind of look and see, is there anything that really kind of jumps out at me? Oh, yes, absolutely. This little card here will be perfect as a backdrop for my photo. A journaling card. So really what I need is I need another decorative card. Is what I'm looking for. Let's see, but I've got to be careful because I'm covering up a lot down here. So let's see what I can find here. And if I don't find anything particularly here, then we'll switch over to our papers. All right. Well, I'm not seeing too much there, but what I am thinking of doing is using some of this. Okay. And so what I want to do here is I want to kind of figure out, is there anything that really fits together here? Okay. I have my castles. They're pretty big, so they probably aren't going to go on this page. My unicorn's fairly large. It's probably not going to go on this page. But you know what? That little rainbow may be perfect up there. Okay. And so I'm actually going to put that back. I'm not going to use that. I am going to reach for, so I look at the colors that I have in here. So mulberry, papaya, and I've got some, let's see, what else do we have in here? We have some mist in here. We have some black and white. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to grab a little bit of mulberry paper and we're going to dress that up. We're going to treat it as a pocket card, but we're going to dress it all up. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is find a piece that I can cut down to 3 by 4. So let's do that super quick, because that's kind of my area that I have up here. So let's go. Four inches and 3. You saw me flipping it around because again, we have a light and a dark side. And I'm going to use the light side on this for my idea here. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to take this super cute rainbow right here, and it is in little strips. Okay. So there is, this is how the SVG converted to a sticker. Super cute. I'm gonna hold it over the black here so you can see it. So instead of having all these separate pieces of paper, I have one little sticker. And I kind of line this up a bit. I know that this rainbow needs to be somewhat towards the top. Okay. So now I've just created my own pocket card, basically. Okay. I know it's going to slide right into here. This is generally what my page is going to look like. I'm going to have my photo right there. And so here you can see I've just taken all of these pocket cards and a piece of paper that I turned into a pocket card. And I'm kind of making a different type of a layout with those. Okay. So what else can we do? Well, I really like this little flower border. And I remember seeing in here in my pocket cards, there was a super cute little card with flowers on it. And I think those are just about the perfect height to fit along the bottom of this card that I've made. So again, do not be afraid to cut these up. They don't have to be used as they are intended. And that's the whole goal of today's class, is to think about different ways to use things. So I have some nice little journal lines that I can use, or I can flip it over and use some cute little outlines of flowers later on. We're just going to set that aside. And this is actually going to go, and I do need to cut just a tad bit more off of it. Now, those of you that know me know that I do not like to fussy cut. Okay. So all I am intending to do with this is just to replicate these flowers. That's it. Okay. So I'm going to have a rainbow over flowers up here. So let's put that on super quick.
Well, I got the crop. Yeah.
Okay, and then here we go. I'm just going to adhere this right on. Make sure I'm not doing this off camera. There we go. Now, when I look at how my page is kind of shaping up. Okay. I know that's there. This is coming in here. Again, you can't see a lot of those flowers, but again, all that it's doing is it's replicating this look right here. Okay. So that makes sense. Again, I'm just kind of replicating these patterns on here. Okay. Couple more things. So I know my photo is going to go over here, so I'm not going to do any type of decoration to this card until I know exactly what my photo is going to look like. And so for the most part, other than I would like to add just a couple little embellishments here. Okay, I added a little heart. There they are. And then I'd like to add just this little star. Oops, once it gets stuck to me. A little star, I'm going to kind of put over here. I'm going to move it up just a bit because I think that's going to be right on the hole punch. Okay, so now I pretty much have a base page done for my next view. Okay, so I'm going to adhere these down. Again, knowing that one needs to go last because it overlaps. And let's quickly adhere these down. Here we go. Is that? Place this one in. Super quick. And last but not least, our 4x6 card is going to come in just right here.
But I didn't pick that up because
okay, so I've got a cute title. I've got a great little journaling spot. I've got some great little artwork up here, and I've got a spot for my photo to go in as soon as I print it. Okay, that is my page. Super quick, super easy. Would we do that in 20 minutes? Again, using supplies that you might have, but using them in a little different way or camouflaging how you're using them. Okay. Again, I could have very well put this whole 4x6 card up here, but I didn't want it to be two big blocks, just kind of sitting there. Okay. So therefore I broke it up. I gave lots of interesting patterns. We've got stripes, we've got rainbows. We've got nice lines down here for our journaling. We've got flowers repeated. And we have these little stars and hearts and all of that kind of all throughout. Okay. Question on that. Kind of a quick and easy way to do this. No? All right. Well, let's set that little guy aside. So let's think now about, I'm going to create something from a pure white background. Okay. And again, we're trying to think of different ways to use our products outside of the box. Okay. So remember, I had this cute little circle left. Okay. We had that cute little guy left. And I also like the idea. Okay, that's pretty cute there. Again, a little blocky. But we're going to try to soften it up. My thought is that my photo is going to go right into this. And then my other thought is that I am going to use one of these very large castles to kind of tie it all in together. That is my plan. Okay, so first of all, absolutely don't like the fact that this is just kind of all white all around it. This, of course, is melon. And so I'm going to use a little bit of my melon ink and my melon stopper, if I can find it. There it is. And we're going to give this little guy a little bit of character and texture. Okay, in more ways than one. Okay, we're going to do our normal inking around the edge. Okay. And I'm just doing just a light little application. And we talked a lot about this in last time's classes. So be sure and catch the video if you didn't see that it is posted out on YouTube. So if you want to watch our January classes, we're all about ink application and how to kind of use it to kind of add some texture and interest. And we talked a lot about, you know, how mixed media is really just that. It's just adding texture and interest to our pages. I'm going to do a tone on tone here as well. So I really want to emphasize this oval shape.
And how do you put it all together with keyword?
Okay, there we go. You can kind of see it's already starting to get a little bit of character, a little bit of depth to it. I'm going to go ahead because I'm not planning on covering all of this, but I am planning, actually I am going to cover all of it now that I think a little differently. Let's grab that little piece of discarded paper that I did earlier. And I'm going to pretty much do a monotone layout here. Okay, but I'm going to do it in such a way that it doesn't necessarily have to be monotone, and it can have some other colors, it can have other pieces to it, but I'm going to start out with just black and white and melon. Okay. And again, I'm just giving this piece of paper a little bit of texture to it. Okay. Has anybody ever colored with their ink pads? Has anybody ever done that?
Yeah.
I'll show you. Okay, this is a lot of fun. What it takes is like a Zig blender. Okay, this little blending pen here. And this is just a Zig. It's just a kind of a very common one. And you can use these to pick up color from your ink pad. Okay, see how my tip there is getting pink? It's picking up this melon color. Well, I want to use that because I want to put a few spots of color in here on my little black and white page. Okay, so anywhere I have the little shoe, basically this becomes a marker that matches your ink colors perfectly. Okay, let's see, do we have any more shoes on there? Yep, down over here in the corner. There's another little shoe. Okay, and there again, you can see you now have the perfect color marker to go without having to invest in a ton of markers. Okay, I always have a little piece of scratch paper. And what you want to do when you're done coloring is just kind of color on a piece of scratch paper until our melon color disappears from our tip. Just like that. Okay. And then this is ready to use on any other color we might want to color on. But right now, I just wanted to do those little pops of melon in there. There's that. Set that aside. Now I'm going to take my castle. And I want to start to lay it out, but I don't want to put it down yet. So I'm going to use our little wax paper trick. Okay, here's my little piece of wax paper, just standard Reynolds wax paper. And I'm just going to lightly stick my castle on there. So now I can take my castle and I can kind of lay him on my paper. And I can move it all around until I figure out exactly where I want it to go. Okay, I'm kind of thinking right there. And again, you can see what I'm doing with these shapes is I'm disguising the fact that I have just 2 4x6 pieces of paper on here. Okay, I'm softening these edges in between. We could soften them further. We could come through and we could create some really cute borders on there. There's all sorts of different things we could do. But for right now, I just want to use the castle. Okay, I know this is where my photo is going to go, so I'm going to leave that kind of unembellished until I get my photo on there because I'll put some embellishments on top. But this is kind of where I'm starting at. Okay, right now it's a very monochrome type image. Okay, just using one color. I'm using black and white, some shades of black and white here with the grays. And I do have, a little bit of color of the flags, but not enough to really detract from anything. Oops, stuck there. Okay, so let me start to put this down on the page.
Perfect.
There we go. There's that base down. Here comes this base. And again, you'll notice that I've chosen the girl side of the paper because that's most likely what I will use it for. Because most likely this page will have a picture of Brie on it somewhere. Okay. And here comes.
Yeah.
Oops, I got a little off center, but that's all right. I'll trim that up. All right. This I know is where my photo is going to go. And now I'm ready for my castle. So it's going to easily peel off of my wax paper, just like that. And I am ready
Cool.
to put my castle
Okay.
right where I want it. Stick flags down, we'll trim him off at the end.
No, that sounds
There we
great.
go.
because I
I'm gonna
think
go ahead and put this little guy down.
They're all done by time.
Okay.
Um,
I'm gonna kind of move
you
that
can
in
see
just a little bit, just like that.
stuff I did the other day.
Now, I want to reach for
Are
my little stickers here.
it's all
And
everything.
what I'd like to do is I want to create some type of interest up here in this corner.
Yeah,
Okay. And so I'm just looking at my stickers here, just trying to kind of decide what makes the most sense to go up there. And I really like the idea of using one of these little word stickers down here, along with,
Yeah. I'll-
again, we're going with this
I
monotone
got
theme.
it else, you know, and again,
So I'm going to put
I haven't-
my little flag there.
4 hours of it. I'm just gonna-
And then I'm going to put my little title right there.
Then.
Okay. So it almost looks like my flag is flying this little sweet girl. Again, just looking for a couple of little embellishments, a couple of little things that will kind of break up a lot of this squareness.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, this was one of my digital art pieces, turned right into a sticker. You can see nice, quick, easy to put it on a spread and get ready to go. I've got plenty of room for journaling, and I have a feeling I'll probably have some more little things. I might even color in this little rainbow down here, depending on what colors my photo has in it. All sorts of different things that I could definitely do down in here. Okay. Or I could definitely add some more stickers, all of those types of things. Okay. All right. So that was number 2. And I believe that one took us all of about 10 minutes to do. Okay.
That's HA.
And again, I'll go through, I'll punch my holes in them because I do outside of the page protector. Go ahead and take off that flag right there. There we go. So there are 2 pages already ready for my memory journal and ready for just some cute pictures of daily pictures of my daughter in here and some antics of what she's done. Okay. All right. So what I want to do now is have everybody unmute, and I want to talk about other products that you've used in different ways. What have you done that wasn't quite the norm in terms of looking at either sheet of paper? Again, I take 12 by 12, I make it into 6 by 8s. I don't go out and buy specific 6 by 8 paper pads. Okay. What else have you done? What else can you think of doing? We've taken a piece of paper, we've made it into a pocket card. We've made pocket cards into pieces of papers. We have taken digital art and made it into stickers instead of using the layers of paper upon paper. We have colored with our ink pads. Okay, instead of stamping with them, we've colored with them. Okay. What else can we do? Can we create our own paper? Yeah, you want to try that? Yeah, let's do it. Okay. So the way I like to create paper, and I'm going to bring out a great big foam block instead of using my little close to my heart ones, because I want to be able to stamp kind of all over this paper. I'm going to use these same colors we've already been using just because they're out. We'll use melon, mulberry, and honey butter. So we'll use these 3 colors, and we're going to make our own background. And again, I want to keep it in the same theme. The little frog is super cute, but he's not quite what I'm going for. So I'm going to skip this stamp, except for probably using a few words here and there. But I am definitely going to use my castle. I am definitely going to use the dragon, the once upon a time. Best things come in small packages, a little bit of this of this dragon scale. So I'm going to use these quite a bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do, this is a fairly small piece of paper. Okay, so if I put the castle on here even twice, it's going to take up a whole lot of room. Okay, because I'm only dealing with a 6x8 piece of paper. But I like to start with my largest images first. And what I'm going to do, does everybody remember the visual triangle? I'm going to stamp this 3 times on, sorry, I'm grabbing a bigger piece of scratch paper here so I don't get my pad all inky. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out how to put this castle on here 3 times. And then I'm going to go to my next largest image and I'm going to start stamping with that image. Again, guess what? 3 times. Ooh, look at that. That castle barely fits on this block. My goodness. There we go. All right. This is brand new. I haven't used this before. So just a quick seasoning, remember. Quick. Just enough to get that shine off of it. You can see now, you can actually see the outline of it a lot more. It's a little bit more opaque. That tells me that we've gotten off any oils or anything. Now, because this is my biggest image, I'm going to stamp it in my lightest color. Okay, because it's already going to be really big and kind of overpowering. Okay. So I'm going to start midway right here. And notice that I'm stamping off the page. Sorry, that shook the camera a little bit. Okay, can you still tell it's a castle? Absolutely. Okay, let's ink up our stamp again. And I'm going to stamp off right over here. Okay, same thing. I'm stamping off the page because this is such a large stamp. Can I still tell that's part of the castle? Absolutely. And then one more time, I'm going to stamp right up here. Okay. And again, I still don't have all the castle, but I don't really need to. Okay. There's my visual triangle of the 3 castles. Okay. Now I'm just going to clean my stamps super quick here. I've wet my stamp chamois already. Quick little rub off. It's great. Let's go to the next biggest one, which I think for me, because our dragon is so big, I don't know that I'm going to be able to use him. I would really like to, but he's just so big. What I really want to use is this little Once Upon a Time. I really want to use that. Okay, so I'm going to set honey butter aside. Let's put our castle back over here before he gets stuck on the bottom of something and I lose him. Ask me how I know. And let's try this really cute Once Upon a Time. Now, again, this is fairly large. It's going to take a pretty good sized stamp block here. Okay. Notice it's kind of hard to see. It's kind of hard to see its outlines. That means we need to give it just a little bit of buffing here on our hand. Again, just make sure you don't have a ton of lotion or anything on your hand when you do this. Okay, there we go. Now you can see, you can actually see the words and it's definitely more opaque. That tells you it's ready to use. Okay, now this I'm going to do in the melon. Okay, because I like my words to stand out. Okay, so
take 30 frames per second. And I'm now doing like 26 hours for one.
Cute. And again, I'm going to kind of cluster this around our 3 castles. So again, we can keep this whole visual triangle going. Okay, my first one, I'm going to put it right up here. And again, I'm stamping out the page. That's okay.
All right.
So again, we're going to be putting things over these. This one down here. All right. We'll actually stamp the whole thing.
But
There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I just want to add just a tiny bit of color, but I know I really can't fit too much on here. So I'm going to really stamp this one off the side of the page. Okay. But again, we've got this whole visual triangle still going on here, just with a different color now. And what we're doing with this method is we are coming in and we are making it so that it draws our eye kind of all around the page. Okay, we don't have any big lump sums of anything running around. We have just lots of nice little embellishments. Okay, I'm going to grab a smaller stamp block here. So, great. Okay. Again, it's pretty clear I haven't used it. So there we go. Away. Our melon. I'm gonna need some more ink colors, I do believe. Okay, now I have this cute little crown. Okay. And this little guy, I'm gonna just start to kind of fit in a couple of places. Again, clustering it right around where my other right there. Okay, and there's my 3 images. Okay, see how we're really starting to kind of fill in this piece of paper. Now kind of comes the fun part, is using a bunch of smaller stamps. Okay, so I did that crown. Now let's do, let's see, what other one shall we use? So those are die cuts. Those would be kind of cute. But what I'd like to use from here, from our little frog stamp here, and this comes from the card making workshop. That's the only way you can get this little stamp, is I want to use this cute little star border here. Okay. Oh, you can need yet another stamp block. No. All right. Again, because this is a little line, I'm going to put it on my paper and then bring it up. There we go. Let's find another ink color. Oh, let's use some mist. This is one of my favorite of the new colors. Okay. So now all that I'm going to do is I'm going to ink those up. Sorry, that's shaking the camera. And I'm going to bring these little stars in and start to fill in some more gaps. Maybe one there. Maybe one there. And let's say maybe one right there. Okay. All right. Notice our stamps are getting smaller and smaller. Okay. Now, who has ever cut a stamp? And Valerie, I think you had this question a little while ago. Oops, where did he go? There he is. There's a couple of different things. I want some more crowns on here. I really like this little crown, but it's attached to the Once Upon a Time. Okay. So I got to figure out how I want to do that. Okay. I really want to use it. I really don't have any other crown stamps per se. I have some die cuts, but that's not really quite what we're going for here. But I do want some more little crowns. I've got this little bitty guy here we'll probably use towards the end, as well as our hearts and stars. This tiny little crown here, we'll probably use a lot of these right towards the end. Come in and fill in any white areas that we have here in our paper as we're creating this. But for right now, I really want to use this crown up here. So I've got a couple of options. I can cut it. Okay. The Once Upon a Time doesn't have to have the crown on it. It could go very easily without it, or I can mask it. I am not a huge fan of cutting my stamps. Okay. So what I prefer to do is to come into my nifty little drawer here, take a great big piece of my non-sticky purple painter's tape. This, I believe, is the 2-inch wide. And I'm going to mask off the stamp when I get ready to stamp it. Okay. So what I do want to do is I want to use papaya for this. Okay. So I'm going to open that up. I'm going to, just try to ink my crown, but it's not a big deal if I get any other ink anywhere else, because I'm going to come in here and mask that ink off. Okay. See how I've covered the rest of the stamp except for that little crown as I drop it. And so now I can come in with my little crown wherever I want to, and I get just the crown. Okay. Then I'm going to take my piece of paper off, or my piece of tape, excuse me. I am going to re-ink that little crown. So I have one crown up there. This little crown, I think I'll put right down here, kind of off the page. And you can see I've just got my crown. And one more little ink. Again, I don't worry too much if I get it on the Once Upon a Time, because I'm going to mask it off. And then let's put this crown maybe right up here. Okay. All right. We're getting close. Okay, I'm going to toss that. So it now has ink all over it. Okay. Clean that off. So here you can see I'm kind of repeating this pattern, but in a little darker color. Okay. All right, so now let's put that little guy back. And now what I want to do is I want to add a few words. Okay. I'm going to add princess. I am going to add a man's home is his castle until his queen arrives. That's very true in our house. And here you can see I've got a bunch of other little shapes and sizes of things that we're going to fill in with here in just a little bit, but I want to get these words on. Okay. Again, I'm going to use, let's pick that up. I'm just going to use a whole lot of different colors here. Let's do these words. I pulled out pewter, which is a gray color. And ooh, it's super, super. There we go. Super, super crooked. Again, I haven't used it before. Let's do that. I'm going to ink it up. Nice, cute little gray here. Again, I don't really want to put any black on here, because I think it'll stand out too much. You can see this kind of fits in really well. Okay. Turn it sideways, put it up on that place, and maybe let's put it right down here at the bottom. Okay. And again, you can see we're just continually filling in this white space, giving it a super quick but even application of colors and shapes or words in this case. Okay. All right. Where did this one come from? Over here. Okay, so let's do the little princess next. We'll try to do it on this block. I'm going to look okay. So let's put our pewter away. Let's grab some sage, which is another color that is in this kit. Make sure that my stamp is nice and seasoned. That looks great. Okay, here's my little princess.
Utah. Yeah, but one of the nice things about it.
Princess. And again, see, I'm putting it in various different ways. And it's not always in the same spot. So I'm not creating a pattern on here, but I'm just creating a fill.
Because these are false starts.
That is that one.
Rotation of
One more decent size stamp before I start really kind of filling this in with the with kind of the rest. And I want to use these little dragon scales just because they're so cute. Okay. And let's grab, tell you what, let's grab some Seabrook with this. This is a nice light little color. It's also new this year. And I didn't need to season it because I have already used it. But these cute little dragon scales. Just kind of a cute little pattern. In various places here. And actually, I think I'm going to use it to fill in right up here. There we go. All right, so now we are ready to start filling in with our small ones. You can see we have just a few spaces kind of here and there. And actually what I might do is I'm going to fill in with this other little crown over here. But I'm going to do it in a different color. Okay. I'm out of colors, so I need to reuse a color. So as I look at this, I really think that we need maybe a little bit more of this sage because we just have a little bit of that princess on there. So let's bring back sage really quick. And what I'm going to do is now take the same crown, but I'm going to bring it in with a different color. Okay. Now I think we're ready to start filling in with all of our small little stamps. Okay. What I like to do on my small stamps is I will come in, I will find the ones I want to use. I'm going to find a smaller stamp block. Use a little bitty tiny 1 by 1. And I'm going to load up several of these little stamps just in kind of a haphazard way.
Well,
2, 3. Let's put all the small ones I have on there. Okay, over here, oh, let's add this little star here.
I actually have my
And maybe let's move this arrow a little bit. And let's add this other little star. So you can see I'm just creating a little cluster of stamps on this little block. Okay, got a star, a heart, another little star, actually 2 more little stars, and then an arrow. Actually, I think I might change out this little star and put this little star on there, just so they're very different. There we go. So it looks a little bit more like an asterisk now. Okay. I want to do these. I want these to be fillers. So I want them to kind of fade into the background. So I'm going to use my pewter color here. Because again, I've got all of these bright, vibrant colors kind of popping out. And all I really want to do now is come in with this and just kind of fill in a little bit here and there where I really need to. Okay. That's all I'm doing, but I want this to kind of fade to the background just a little bit. Okay, so I'm just looking. I'll do a tiny little bit up here. Do kind of like that. So I'm just coming in and filling in bits and pieces kind of here and there. All right. That may be all that I can kind of do with that one, with that mini on there. So let me clean that. I'm going to take off this big arrow. And I now have just the 4 little guys. And I'm going to start to fill those in a few other smaller places where I couldn't fit the arrow.
I've been working.
You can see I still have a few little blank areas that I'd like to fill in a little more. So I mentioned that I wanted to use these little crowns over here. Okay, so I'm going to do that now. And we put all of these back on. Let's go real quick. There we go. 1. And 2. And 3. And 4. All right. There's one of the little stars that's running around here somewhere. We'll find him in a minute. Oh, there he is, right there. There he is. Okay. So what I want to do now is I want to use this bigger crown first. I'm going to go with a lighter color. I'm going to go with some honey butter. Super quick.
When you want to see when you want to unarchive so it's called a filter.
There we go. Quick little ink up of this little crown. And let's figure out where he can kind of go. Can go right there. You really cute, kind of poking out down here at the bottom. And then right there. Okay, so now you can see we've got those little crowns. And there's yet one smaller that I want to use. Okay, there we go. There he is. Okay, so we have this tiny little guy right here. We're going to use, he's super small. And let's change our colors again because we don't want to have an overriding amount any one color. I think I'm going to do this one in the mist. Okay.
See the top is not moving.
There we go. There's one. I'll put one right in here. And all I'm doing is just adding this little guy in a few places where I feel like I've got a lot of white space. So that is what my made up page looks like now. Okay, it's super cute to use as a background. Put a little strip of paper somewhere and your photo, a little journaling block. Super easy.
You always make it look so easy.
It is easy, Irma. You just have to practice a little bit.
I watch you sometimes and I just see that whole thing and I'm like, wow.
Okay, just remember, do your blocks of 3s, okay? And your 3 areas. That's the easiest way to do this. And to keep it very consistent and not everything all grouped together. Okay, so remember that. Remember your 3s. Start with your bigger stamps first, and then just keep filling in. Vary your colors. You know, look for those consistencies in here. So this is a very nice, neat, balanced background. Okay, it doesn't have 5 castles going across the middle or once upon a time, you know, all grouped together. Okay, and the way you do that is remembering that rule of 3s. Okay, and it's a little hard to do on a 6x8 with such big stamps, as you can see. We get a little bit of blockiness in there, and again, varying which way you stamp will help that as well.
Okay.
Okay.
You do make it look so easy though.
I've done this a few times, just a few. I won't even attempt to tell you how many, but no. Okay, so from there, that is kind of the end of the instruction that I have for tonight. What I want to do now is open it up for you to try any of these techniques that you want with me here as support. So that's kind of what I want to do with kind of this last, what do we have, about 40 minutes, is open it up for questions, other ideas for sharing. I ask everybody to please unmute at this point. Because we want to talk about, you know, what works, what have we tried, what hasn't worked. You know, I've tried this using, you know, I kind of mentioned, you know, we have the little crown die cuts. I've tried doing this with die cuts. It didn't work too well. But again, I may have chosen the wrong die cuts as well to make it work. Okay. So again, please, you know, unmute, ask any questions that you have. If you want to try something with me right here, I'm here. So I'm here for you now. So whatever you would like to do, and I'm just going to pick up a little bit because I have stuff everywhere. Oh my goodness. Okay. I might also add that we could have done this using the die cuts as well. But again, it just kind of gives a lumpy, bumpy texture. It doesn't give you this nice, clean, smooth background, which is what we were going for. Okay. Now, what I have seen done that was really cute is once you get this page kind of decorated, you do stamp your castle. And you kind of put it right here over this one, but you do it with dimensional adhesive, which is always kind of a fun, different, you kind of get a little bit of a raised up kind of here and there. Okay. And you can do that with the die cuts and the stamp. So that's fun. And I might do something like that on my final page. I'm not sure.
What is that? And one of the stamp things I got, what is that?
But it's this.
Yeah, what is that?
Okay, these are, here, I'll just show you real quick. So do you have a Sizzix machine, Irma? Like the current candle? No? Okay.
I've never seen one.
Okay, well, let's show you. Hang on, I'm gonna zoom
right.
out a little bit so you can see a little bit more of my messy tabletop here. My goodness, I will apologize for that. Let's do this, let's show you. So let's do our little rainbow.
What's that machine called?
It's called a Sizzix machine. Let me grab it. And actually, there's a ton of them out there. Okay. We at Close to My Heart have one. I don't have it because I have had this puppy for like 20 years. Okay. I've had it for a long time. I love it. It's a crank handle. There are some that are automatic handles out there. There's some that are much nicer than this. This you can get for less than $100. So
What do they call it? A Sizzix?
a Sizzix. It's a Sizzix Big Shot. See if I can hold it somewhat to the camera. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Sizzix Big Shot. Okay. So what you do on these, it's pretty easy. So we've got our stamp. Way too much stuff out. I am going to stamp a little, that'll fit. All right, so what I'm going to do first of all is I have my piece of paper here and I just pulled some mulberry. Again, you can see this is just a piece of scrap and I love using scraps for this. And I grab my little mat. Again, don't forget your little mat. Okay, I'm going to find yet one more stamp block. Irma, you asked me why I had so many stamp blocks. This is why. Remember, we want to try to fit our stamp to our stamp block. We'll get the best image that way. Okay. Again, I just seasoned it up. So now you can actually see the actual design in here. Okay. I'm going to do this in, let's have a little gray on Mulberry Rainbow. What do you think? That sounds kind of cute. Okay. So again, I'm just making sure the pewter's a little, I will totally admit, is a little hard to tell because it is a really light gray.
Then you gotta shoot new class.
Okay, so I'm going to bring this in.
Right?
I'm going to stamp. Okay, so there's my little cute little rainbow. Love it. Super cute. Clean the stamp. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to load the stamped image And this die, so let's see, I'm looking at the image here. So on this die, there is a flat edge, okay? And there is a side with a little raised, and I know it's really hard to see on camera, with a little raised groove in it. You kind of see my nail kind of going in it there, okay? I'm gonna put this groove side down to my paper. I'm gonna line it up just like that on my paper. I am going to grab some of my favorite tape because I do not want this to move. I want it to cut out exactly right here.
And that way, cable management is just
Go.
all runs low.
I'm just going to put that on there gently. Okay. Now I put it, this is the platform. Okay. This one happens to be a really old Stampin' Up! One that I have had. Same amount of time I've had the machine, 20 years, okay? So they last forever. These things last forever. The plates you can see, they're all scarred up. They're all, you can tell I've cut on this a ton. I do. I use these things until they break and they work just fine, okay?
That's something different or that's what comes with the machine?
This is what goes into the machine, okay?
Okay.
And these cutting plates, you can see this one is really bad. This one is probably about ready for retirement because it's also getting pretty bowed and it's not wanting to come back out, okay? So what I typically do is I cut on one, this one that's really scarred up, because this is gonna cut into these match just a little bit. And that's okay, that's what they do, okay? This one isn't quite as scarred, so I'm going to put it on top because it's just kind of there to help make a sandwich and make it go through the machine the right way. Okay. So I've got these in, I've got everything taped up. It's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to feed it into my machine. And I'm just going to crank it through. You'll hear a little bit of cracking. That's okay. Okay. And now when I take it out, it's stuck. I take my little fancy purple tape off. And now I have a perfect cutout of the rainbow. So let me know if you want some more information on the machines, Ermin. I can help you with that. We can find the best machine. So I have this one. I also have the larger of the big shots, which will actually cut almost up to 12 inches because I have some big circle templates and stuff. I would say I use this particular machine probably 90% of the time. And it's a 6x9, so you can cut up to a 6x9 image. Okay, but that's what these are for. And we just put those right back on. Close to my heart comes with a magnet, which is awesome. And so they just stay stuck to the little magnet. And I just keep them in with my stamps. Okay.
Yeah, I think one of the kits that I got had it in there. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Great question. Okay. I store mine in here just because it helps flatten it out a little bit because they're getting pretty old. But they still work. They still work great. Okay. Does that help?
Yes, it does.
Awesome. And I think, Valerie, I think you have one and you use these quite a bit, don't you? Or did we lose Valerie? We might have lost Valerie. She might have stepped out for a second. So, but I think Valerie has one too, and she uses it quite a bit, but I use mine constantly. So not only can you get the ones that go with the stamps, like these, like here's our dragon, here's our crown right here. Oh, I can get it out. Sometimes they really get stuck to these magnets. There we go. So there's our dragon. There's our crown right there. And then of course we just played with our rainbow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, or you can get just.
No, and then I flipped over to rather than having the static.
So this is it's called Tags, Tabs, and Journals. This is a current one. And this is just a bunch of collections of different dies, just the metal pieces, no individual. It does have a stamp set that coordinates with it, but it's just the metal pieces. Okay. And you can see you can do hearts with fake stitching. This little tag, this little tag and this little tag, I actually used, that is where my cover page tags came from. Okay, was this little die set. So let's see, there's that one. There's that one. And there's that one. And again, I just ran cardstock through them and cut it out. Okay. I will honestly tell you, I love my Cricut. Do not get me wrong, but I will honestly use my Sizzix more than I use my Cricut because it's so easy to just go and grab this, run it through the machine just like that. I don't have to hook up Cricut Design Space. My Cricut actually sits in the room next door, so I don't have to go and get it and bring it out. So the Bluetooths, anything like that. So I will honestly use these little dies more than I use my Cricut. Unless I'm doing something like these, and then I'll use Cricut.
I'm still trying to learn how to use my Cricut.
Did you do the Cricut class with us?
No, I didn't know you had. I'm still trying to figure it all out. I've followed YouTube. I've done everything. And the other day for Valentine's Day, my daughter wanted to see what to do for her boyfriend, right? So I saw this thing online and it said like, since I won the lottery the day I met you. And it was like, she bought a bunch of lottery tickets and I made it into like a bouquet of flowers.
Oh, how cute.
I got all the flowers and the roses. And then I got the sticks and I put the flower tape on it. And yeah, and then I did it. So I did the hearts and the flowers and the little sign on my Cricut. But it took me so long. I can't figure it all out yet. Like I see on TV, and even when I go to the like where you download everything, what did you say? The Design Space. I didn't even become a club person or anything because it would be a waste of money. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where playing with smaller image sets, like, if there's a particular kit that you really like, we always have digital art that goes with it. And again, they're SVGs, so you can use them just standard Cricut, do all your layers, all of that stuff, super fun. Or you can do it like this, and you basically flatten them and they become stickers. And I'm going to do just a quick little video, not here tonight, but a quick little video on how I did that, because it's super
What kind of paper you bought?
This is just sticker paper. I just bought sticker paper. Yeah. And I have both white and I have clear as well. And so I tend to use white on my scrapbooking layouts, but I tend to use clear if I'm doing something in my planner. So it just kind of depends what use, because the clear will give you definitely more of an opaque versus this is truly, if we look at our, wherever it went, where did it go? There it is. If we look at our sticker here, that's truly a castle. And so this is truly the toner and stuff printing out on the white. If I had done this on clear sticker paper, you would still be able to see the backgrounds back in here because it would be more opaque. It wouldn't be a solid print like this.
Yeah, because I like the journaling stuff, but because I was your classic journal paper, just a pretty notebook, and I would write in it, and I would stick stickers on it, but it just seems like it's so much nicer that way, and I like to, I don't know. I think too much.
So I get it. I get it. So there's one other thing that I wanted to share with you guys, and this is something that I've been dabbling in for a really long time, but I haven't really been doing it consistently. And this is an art journal, okay? So this is a little different than my memory journal, okay? This, And this I'm actually doing as part of a challenge on using a workbook. But basically what this is I have created this entire book here. Okay. And so what I've done is I found some old eyelets that I had. Okay, both small and large. And that's what I used. I covered chipboard to be my covers. So you can see I've got some really thick covers on the front and back. And then I just put rings through my pages. Okay, so this is a journal I've created completely from scratch. Okay, so when I open it up, you can see I really went for kind of this vintagey kind of warm textured colors and those types of things. Okay, and then this was the first page that I actually did. And it basically, this is an old magazine cover that I had, really, really old. And so that's where a lot of this type of stuff came from in this cute little picture. And then what I did is I created this cute little pocket and I put all of my journaling on that pocket. Okay. And again, just added a few embellishments, some doilies, cut some strips of paper to give it a lot of texture in the background. And then this one was a challenge out of our book to do a complete white on white page.
Yeah, the eyepiece goes.
Okay. And so you can see there's like some white plasticky, there's white vellum, there's white glitter paper. There's all of these clear buttons going down through. I cut out my letters on the Sizzix, ran them through the little crimper to give them a little bit of texture to put that on there. Here's some textured paper. The background is nothing but tissue paper, like what you wrap papers, like what you wrap presents with, that I crumpled all up and then I smoothed out a little bit and glued it down to the background of the paper. So that's what creates all of this texture back here in the background. Super simple. Okay. And then I've got a couple of other just kind of base pages ready here. Like here I've got, this is where I want to do, take like a normal, journaling card and put in here. And the title of this one is called Embracing My Story. And so, I'll have room in here to put a couple of journals and that type of stuff, or I could put another pocket on here to put things in. And then these are just plain. I haven't done anything with them yet or that other than the big flower. And then that's it. So that's kind of the start of this art journal book, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've seen those on YouTube and stuff. People do them. And they get so crafty.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, some of the ideas that people come up with. Mine are pretty simple, but it's kind of fun because, I made covers. I've made every single page that goes in it. It's kind of a neat way to look at it, instead of using my standard little mini binder here, like what I generally use for my memory journal pages. It's just kind of a fun, different way to do things.
Yeah, I'm still trying to learn that way. I'm still trying to win that way. Baby steps.
Well, if you ever need to work on some things, Irma, just let me know and we can schedule some time. So no worries at all. No worries at all. So, okay, so that's kind of all that I have for tonight, other than cleaning up my big mess here. Any other questions? Anything else? Ruth,
No.
anything from you? It's like we've lost Valerie for a few minutes.
I really appreciate all the information you have given us.
Perfect.
I'm very basic. I'm learning a lot.
Well, good. That's what these classes are for. So it's a lot of fun. So again, Ruth, I think you have, you can contact me on, did you come from Facebook? Or
yes,
were you,
Facebook.
Okay. So you can always contact me on Facebook if you have questions. That's how Irma and Valerie get a hold of me all the time. So yeah, definitely let me know if you have any questions or if there's any particular products. I was gonna do those little embossing sleeves that Valerie was talking about earlier, but without her here, we'll just wait until maybe greeting card class and we'll do it there. So, because I have a feeling that's probably where she'll use them. So. Well, wonderful. Well, ladies, thank you so much for coming tonight. I truly appreciate it. And let's see, we have memory keeping, which is our 12 by 12 scrapbook class is up next. And that is next Tuesday. And then followed very closely by our greeting card class on that Thursday. So we have 2 classes next week. So we'll see you then.
Okay, thank you.
All right,
Have a
bye
good night.
guys.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.